Welcome to another episode of the Bible Leader Podcast. This is the Lord of Hosts, Caleb Campbell, joined as always by the interrupter, Kyle Vestner. How's it going anyways?
The King of Darkness returns is what we should call this episode.
Kyle, where have you returned from, Kyle? That's so...
From Banff.
Banff? How was it?
Yeah, I thought it was Banff. It's Bant with an N.
It's Ban.
Yeah.
There's two F's.
That's true.
The second F is not silent.
It is.
You have to pronounce both F's.
It is truly hell.
Why?
So it's fitting. Dude, they have their... Like Alberta, well, Alberta just fully locked down almost as much as Winnipeg now.
Yeah.
But when we were there...
By the way, really dumb idea that you had.
I don't give a shit.
Okay, so how did it turn out? I like that you're mad that it was all locked down when it was your idea to go.
It wasn't my idea.
Or what? You're the one who went during the fucking like maximum lockdown.
We went first to Lake Louise, which is dope.
Yeah.
Minor lockdown. Weren't cunts at the ski hill. But it's the same shit. Put your mask. I'm fine with all that. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? No real bars there.
Everyone's wearing a mask when you're skiing anyways.
One bar there. Same rules as everywhere else.
I already have a ski mask.
You know what? In fucking Banff, we're walking into a ski match. They're like, no, you have to put on regular masks to come inside. I'm like, I'm covering my face.
Are you serious?
I'm not even joking. They made me put on a thinner mask.
That's so retarded.
My ski mask is like a millimeter thick. They made me put on a paper mask.
Okay. We're on a public forum, and
Yeah.
normally I'm the one telling you to not say shit like this.
All right.
But the fucking double standard with the mask thing is just... I was just on the way here. I already told you this before we turn on the mics, but it's just so crazy I have to say it to everybody. They were saying, like, you know, COVID, disaster, the world is over, everyone's dead, shut down, chaos, no fun, Christmas is over. And if that wasn't the end of all the things... COVID is affecting the gorillas in the jungles of Africa, in the mountainous jungles of Africa. They are also getting COVID from poachers.
That sounds like a Vice documentary.
And they said that we had to wear masks and keep 10 meters back from the gorillas. And that's up to the gorillas, of course, because they're not wearing masks.
Stay away from them all the time.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Fuck, quit bugging the gorillas.
They put it on CBC News that gorillas should be wearing masks in the fucking forest. Like, this is getting out. I mean, not... They didn't say that. They said the people that are handling gorillas in the fucking forest should be wearing masks, and they did say that, which is, like, this is outrageous. The players in the NFL not wearing masks, the referees are wearing masks, the referees taking their masks off to, like, you know, check the fucking computer screen and then putting them back on. Like, it's just, but wear your mask to the table and then take it off and then go to the bathroom with your mask on. Mm-hmm. It's bananas.
I was watching, like...
I get it. Like,
it was a scientific gathering, and they were speaking to the whatever. It was small.
You're very not animated about any of this today. I feel like you've actually been broken.
I am. There's nothing. We're fucked. Like, there's a scientific, like, a forum of people, like-minded scientists, and the whole point of the forum was stop politicizing the virus. I don't care which side you pick. Stop politicizing it.
Yeah.
Go by evidence. One side is going, fuck everything. Right? Lock down everything. The other side is going, lock down nothing. There's going to be deaths anyways. And he's going, okay. The answer isn't, there's no perfect answer. But what they're not reporting on is the fact that treatments are getting way more understood.
Yeah.
The fact that people catching it aren't as relevant anymore. Ventilators were a bad idea. Figure that out. Turns out the autoimmune problems that people were having can be treated by steroids. Like, it's not only a vaccination that's going to, by the way, under 70 years old, influenza is more deadly. Under 70. So how about we shut down old folks' homes, and then every other business? How many 70-year-olds run a business?
Let's take it one step further.
Not 1%.
Let's kill everyone over 70 and just get it over with and take their stuff.
The New World Order.
I think that would free up a lot of places to live and a lot of wealth.
Free up a lot of capital.
It would free up a lot of capital.
It'd probably be a lot of misspent capital.
Hey.
It'd be immediately misspent capital.
That's the best way to spend money, by the way, is missed.
Yeah.
Misspent.
The world wouldn't directly go into chaos. I think they did that to the farmers in the Soviet Union. So
the farmers did it to the aristocrats in the Soviet Union. There was no.
No, they took the farmers.
And
killed them.
When the communists. Okay, well, so the autocrats. First, the farmers did that to the autocrats, and then the communists did it to the farmers. All right, so we've successfully made ourselves look.
And you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore.
Ignorant enough. Any fun parts about Banff before we move on?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, if you listen to the Chad podcast already, I had to release the last one because Chad didn't send me his audio.
Is this
before
just
he
a
left.
giant commercial for
You
the
asked
Chad
me.
podcast?
I went to there with Chad.
Okay, that's true.
I had to release the last one we did from there yesterday, so it's out already. But
Did you get COVID, by the way? Am I gonna get COVID?
I have a 100% case of the Covies.
Hundy P.
Hundy P Covies.
Did you what? Did you go skiing? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I went snowboarding every day.
Skiing. You didn't go to the. Obviously, bars were closed.
We did one day.
Did you pick up any girls? Any
No,
fun?
I
no.
did not.
Did you
Chad
meet anybody there?
Chad did on Tinder.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. The bars are useless. You can't. They have cops in Banff. This is how lockdown Banff is. That their only job, it says peace officer on the back, but
Yeah.
they're obviously cops. And their only job is to walk in to every bar and restaurant in Banff and go up to tables and ask them if they all live in the same residence. And if they say no, they give out $1,000 fines.
Oh, man.
Dude, obviously not. Everyone's in a vacation town.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you're out of your mind. I walked into one bar. I didn't know that any of this was the case. I thought it was regular lockdown like it is here and everywhere else for the most part. Except for Winnipeg.
We're in BC. For anybody who doesn't know, we're in British Columbia. That's in Alberta. Alberta is the Texas of Canada. Basically, I was under the impression that they didn't do shit.
Me too. They just did though. They just locked down everything. So there's no hope anymore.
No soap in our holes. Well, on that hopeless note, I think we should turn
I
book.
don't live in Winnipeg anymore, but all the fucking places that I used to love going to, like for music and comedy and shit, are all gone now. Every single one.
Welcome to the new world.
Right, where it's going to be all. Hey, you know who can afford to rebuild? Every corporation.
Yeah.
Hey, who can afford to expand and get a lot of capital really fast? Conglomerates. Let's fucking do that. Let's have no individualism and all be the same. Let's take away everyone's identity.
I actually believe in
I'm
that.
already. What?
If I had my way, everyone would wear uniforms. Just because I can't be fucked. We'd all be wearing sweatpants and t-shirts.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't be fucked. I look like a slob because everybody else wants to dress nice, right?
Yeah. So this is the classic: bring everyone down to my
yes,
level.
yes. That's that's communism.
Yes, it is.
We
It
bring
literally is.
society down.
Don't fight for
Don't
who
make
has
things
the
better.
best ideas or the best products.
No.
Or the
Comfort.
Yes. Make everyone comfortable in being shitty.
Yes.
And then you know what? When you start to feel bad and get depressed, here's some drugs.
Yeah, and if you start to do if you customized your sweatpants t-shirt outfit that I would give you, we would crush that. We would crush your individualism and throw you in a gulag for many years for trying to break out
I'm
of
an
the mold.
all-boys private school.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so speaking of private school, where I was indoctrinated with this book.
Do I sound a little weird in this mic today? Or do I sound fine?
You sound fine.
Okay. Maybe it's my cans, dude.
Who knows?
I think I
so,
probably fucked
do you
them up
remember
over
what we
there.
read about last week, Kyle?
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I do a little bit. Something about pillars and...
Yes, we were talking about the furnishings of the temple, and it was actually, in fact, so long that I was ambushed by
to give it to you twice.
2 more pages of fucking furnishings. So we'll finish that, but then after that, they bring the Ark of the Covenant to the temple.
Let's remake this
and
part,
then they
but
dedicate.
you know you can remake the Bible. Let's make it, but go like, and the drapes were covered in Hello Kitty.
You can't really remake the Bible, though.
Sure you can. People do it all the time.
They actually haven't.
I reinterpret it.
Sure. Okay, so
that's whatever I'm doing.
but that's not remaking. That just is saying you take the text
Exactly.
and then no, it isn't. It's different.
Okay, I'm a new prophet that decided just now that God told me that that's all wrong and that Hello Kitty is the one true God.
Okay, but so now you're not a Christian.
Why not?
Now you're that's what the Mormons did and the JWs did and the Muslims did and like anybody who adds on. What you can do is read it and then say, like, for example, First Kings 34. Each stand had 4 handles, one on each corner, projecting from the stand. Now you go, the stand represents North America, and the 4.
Well, the stand represents the one I'm about to take in this fucking country.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, so you just you basically bullshit via the text. That's interpretation. To actually just say completely new things and say we have some amendments. Now you're off book. You can't You can't do that. No one's done that. In fact, one of the great thing about Christianity, or one of the reasons they had, or the thing they could point to why they were legitimate, was that Dead Sea. You've heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls?
Yep.
It's like that famous discovery.
Mm-hmm.
We've mentioned it before on the podcast. So what was such a big deal about that discovery was they found versions of the New Testament that were from 400 CE,
and the people
or
who translated it probably had a direct interest
or whatever. No, because
a direct interest in their religion being
sure, the first people who did, but then there's also the scholars that have the direct interest of disproving that they come after. But the only thing that's significant about it was the text.
Can we look those up? If I Googled them online, have people scanned and photographed and uploaded
Yes,
them?
yeah, you could read all the originals if you wanted to. I mean, it's all in Hebrew. So.
I know I couldn't read it.
Yeah, but
someone
take
with
their
the
word
interest
for it.
to could.
I mean, enough.
Fair enough.
Enough.
I just want to know if there's peer review.
That's
all I really.
I didn't
want
make
to
my
know.
point. The only point that I was going to make, though, the thing that, so the text matched up from way back in the day. I don't know the dates off the top of my head, but so if you took the earliest known translation, I don't know is the right word. The earliest known version of the Bible that we had before that was from 500 years after the fact. I'm making up dates right now.
Yeah.
And then they found those Dead Sea Scrolls, which were, dated to way before, and they matched up identically. As in, the book hasn't changed in a long time. That was. Do you understand what my point?
Yeah, no, that's impressive. I get it.
So like what you were saying earlier is if through all the translations and
But I
copies
mean, there's
down.
a feminist Bible now and shit. I get
Yeah,
it that
yeah.
people, I get it that people aren't wildly rallying around these niche versions of the Bible. Well, here's the thing: what you can do. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, it's the same joke and idea we do every time, but I was just thinking of all the different versions you could make of the Bible that would sell to people today. The transgenders Bible. It's
the Bros
you
Bible.
Just go the Bros Bible. That's just the Bible. That's just the girls get
no,
on their knees.
we could take out. It's only those parts.
Yeah.
I mean, we could lose this shit.
No wearing pants. Do what we say.
Yeah.
Those are Bible verses in Acts. I do not prepare women to wear pants.
Only skirts.
Yeah.
Huh. Is that what they wear them in
Or wear ornaments in your hair or braids. You whores. Whoring it up in church.
You know how the Muslims
cover your heads.
Muslims have the turbans, right? And they can't cut their hair?
Hijabs. Yeah. Turbans.
Turbans are Sikh?
I know that Sikhs wear turbans. I'm sure.
What is Sikhs' religion based off of?
It's I think the oldest religion, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be right. Yeah, I have no idea.
It goes back to Zoroastrianism, and it's its own
What's
thing.
with the cutting its hair thing in old religious text?
I don't know. I guess the Bible.
Is it a wealth-based thing? If you have the luxury of being able to grow your hair long, because if you're healthier, you'll grow longer hair.
I think
That's
it's just
a fact.
Dudes
Usually.
peacocking, man. I think it's just guys wanted long hair.
Yeah, but they curled it up in their hats.
Well, at some point it gets inconvenient, so they had to, tie it up at the top.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to take it out in public, are they?
I don't think so. I shouldn't speculate.
The Hasidic women apparently shave their heads and only wear wigs.
Who?
Hasidic Jews.
Oh, Hasidic Jews. Yeah, there's a not a great show, a show on Netflix about a girl escaping from one of those. I watched the first 3 episodes. It wasn't great. It was actually very boring, but it was interesting to see what it was like in those communities.
Because it kind of seems to me that all the dudes are God's their gods, whatever.
Yeah.
It's grow your hair long, but women.
Well,
shave a bald.
Hasidic Jews guys they have those prayer locks, right?
That's what I mean. Isn't that weird?
Well, it is super weird. You know why they do that? Because it says don't shave the corners of your beard. Mm-hmm. So you got a bunch of Jews going what is the corner of the beard? Is that right at the top here?
But the funny thing is the kids can't grow a beard.
Yeah.
Kids fundamentally can't grow a beard.
Well,
all that hair you have until you hit puberty is not a beard. I don't give a fuck. Those are sideburns, and sideburns are not beards.
I tried to grow out my beard I always joke. I had, like you just were saying, a terrible high school kid's beard.
High school beard is, that's a beard. I'll count that.
I had 36 hairs on my chin. I was one of those, but I would grow them out, so they were gross. They look like, pubes, but
Dude,
wispy.
I had a greasy, dirty Sanchez mustache.
And I was growing those out. I kept calling it my beard, and everyone's like, it's not a beard. I'm like, I grew it out for my grad photos, and it's it just looks,
Just to piss your rugby friends off?
Yeah, I just look like one of those guys, like a kid with acne and fucking terrible facial hair. That's what I look like.
It might be who you were.
And I had a point to that though.
That you were ugly?
No, something about the shaving of the beard. I can't remember. I was ugly.
We're talking about the curly cues in the corners of there.
I can't remember. No, you're talking about kids can't grow beards. Like whatever.
Yeah, because they grow out the Hasidic kids have those little curly things.
Oh, I think they're
either
fake.
They're extension. What?
Yeah, I think they come on the sides of the yarmulkes.
That is outrageous. Then.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
What's outrageous about it?
I don't even understand the concept of that. God wants you to put in hair extensions. That's where we've gotten to? Show me where it says that.
Okay.
I can't even fathom the rationale behind that.
I'm second guessing myself. I'm quite sure.
I think you're right, because I'm always
I'm quite sure.
Whenever I've seen a picture, I'm like, that's so long. How do the kids do that?
No, because me and Sim were laughing about it. I don't know if it's a men's yarmulke that a kid was wearing, like he took his dad's yarmulke that had the parallax on the side, or if it was a kid with fake things. But yeah, there was a kid with like the yarmulke, and I don't know if this is a thing that they do, but it definitely appeared that there was fake hair on the sides of their fucking.
God damn, Young
yarmulkes.
T, can you look that up?
Yeah.
Also, can you turn up my headphones a little?
Got no snare in my headphones.
I'm the fourth one.
Okay. So we were talking about the furnishings of the temple. So yeah, much like God wants you to have a specific hair design and extensions.
We're good.
Okay, so as much as God wants you to look like that, he also wants his house, his temple, to look a certain way. Mm-hmm. And this is the way he wants it to look. So we're in 1 Kings.
God's a lot like those girls on My Sweet 16.
Yeah. God, yes, the God of the
He
Bible.
throws a tantrum when he doesn't get,
it's like,
when his place doesn't get exactly what he wants.
It's like really pathetic how like emotionally stunted the God of the Bible is. Mm-hmm. Okay, so.
He's like a single kid that grew up guiding everything he wants.
Well, he's God.
I know.
And then he made
there's no pushback.
Then he made
a
thing
like a bigger God to beat him up once in a while.
That doesn't give him what he wants, and then he tortures that thing because for not giving him what he wants. It's so weird. I have to do these elaborate drinks over the mic boom. Okay, so we're in 1 Kings 7 chapter 7 verse 22. The capital, so that comes at the end of a long pillar talking about the bronze and blah, blah, blah. So the work of the pillars was completed. Verse 23. He made the sea of cast metal circular in shape, measuring 10 cubits from rim to rim and 5 cubits high. It took a line of 30 cubits to measure around it. Below the rim, gourds encircled it. 10 to a cubit. The gourds were cast in 2 rows on one piece within the sea. Now, I can see everybody checking their phones in the room.
Sorry.
What he's describing is a man-made pond or lake, basically a giant bathtub. You know those old bathtubs, like Victorian bathtubs, had like legs on them, and they're like on the ground. And you could like pick them up.
Those look kind of cool.
Yeah, so there's a giant one of those in the courtyard of the temple, like a man-made pond.
Okay. Does God bathe in them, or does he get other people to bathe them, and does he watch?
You're about to find out. The sea stood on 12 bowls, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing... I like how they call it a sea, by the way. 10 cubits by 10 cubits, like 10 by 5. That's like an above-ground pool that they're calling a sea.
But to them, that's unfathomable.
I wouldn't say so.
Do you think they had
I'm pretty sure...
Do you think they had a fucking...
Some of these people have seen the fucking pyramids. I'm quite
Good
sure.
Point. I guess you could. I guess some of them have seen, like, they must have had a big fountain or something.
I don't know what they had. The greatest architecture around at that time, like around there at that time, would have been Jerusalem, probably.
Would it be possible to build like a pool-sized bathtub back then? Whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, when I went to Masada, Masada is this Jewish like hideout in the mountains, and Herod had fucking massive pools cascading from the top of this mountain that flowed into the other ones. They were like all the size of like a normal swimming pool that you'd have now. Cascading cut out of a mountain. That's pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, they could do that stuff. It just takes man and effort. But so this sea, which is an above ground pool, I'm going to call it the above ground pool. The above ground pool stood on 12 bowls, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing east. The sea rested, the above ground pool rested on top of them. And their hindquarters toward the center. It was a hand's breadth in thickness. A hand's breadth is about 3 inches or 8 centimeters. Its rim for the cup, like a lily blossom, it held 2,000 baths. That is 11,500 gallons or 44 kiloliters. So that's how big this above ground pool is.
5,000 gallons.
4,000 liters. Which
1,000 gallons.
you work at a hot tub store. How big is that?
That's just a big ass hot tub.
It says 44 kiloliters.
Oh, that's just a hot tub?
Yeah, that's like a commercial size hot tub. It's 4,000 liters. Like the hot tub at the YMCA is 4,000 liters. Yeah.
Holy shit.
The sea stood on. Yeah, that's. I mean,
dude, I could blow their mind back then with a $100 Canadian Tire blow up pool.
Look at this
ocean. I could become their god.
This is the sea of my front yard. That's so fucking funny.
You know how hard it would be to change the water in that thing?
Yeah, it'd be actually probably not that hard.
Disgusting.
Actually, it would be incredibly hard. They don't have hoses, so they have to bucket it in.
Yeah.
I was thinking to drain it, that wouldn't be hard because they definitely have a drain on it.
That's easy.
Yeah, it's above ground.
You just got to get like a row of your slaves. How long would you let that sit there before it's like, as a king, would be too disgusting to use? Oh, it's a god. Never mind.
No, this is, it's in God's temple, but it's the king. I think they would have to change that every couple days.
Yeah,
the priests are bathing in it.
I know. They're fucking disgusting. Everyone back then for sure is disgusting all the time.
Anyone's bathwater is gross anytime.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Your bathwater is gross and you shower every day. Well, not you, but most people.
Yeah. Why would I? It's just a waste of water.
You're like my grandpa. He showers once a week, whether he needs it or not.
You need it once a week.
Yeah,
whether you need it or not, it's
no.
needed.
That's his line.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my line is I showered last Saturday. That's the one I always say.
That's a disgusting amount of time ago.
Yeah, last Saturday, whatever it is, it's always last Saturday. So it's at least a week. Where were we? He also made 10 movable stands of bronze. Each was 4 cubits long, 4 wide, and 3 high.
Not immovable.
This is how the stands were made.
Immovable.
Hey, this is how it's made. Bible edition.
Sweet.
This is how the stands were made. They had side panels attached to uprights. If you're following along in your car, try and
run your car off the road.
No, I just mean try and imagine this. Have you ever tried to build something via verbal direction? I've used to be a framer, a horrible framer, mind you, but I've been given instructions to build stuff that's supposed to be super easy. Caleb, I just need you to build this wall. Just quickly bang it up and put a window here. And I've built it upside down. I built it every way that you could build it wrong, except the right way. Had sheeted it, had to unsheet it, all the fucking bullshit.
God damn.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, I'm trying to imagine how this looks from the description.
We have like a system now that's what am I trying to say? We have like a bunch of words we use that are like regulated.
Yeah.
We have like regulated speech for what a building design is supposed to be, so you can articulate that to a builder and you'll know what you're talking about. I wonder if it was the same back then.
Well, this is it. This is how they had side panels attached to uprights. On the panels between the uprights were lions, bulls, and cherubim, and on the uprights as well. Above and below the lions and bulls were wreaths of hammered work.
God, I don't give a shit.
Each stand had 4 bronze wheels with
I don't care
bronze
so
axles,
much.
And each had rested on 4 supports cast with wreaths on each side. On the inside of the stand, there was an opening that had a circular frame 1 cubit deep. This opening was round, and with its base work, it measured 1.5 cubits. Around its opening, there was an engraving. The panels on the sides were square, not round. The 4 wheels under the panels,
they went round and round?
The 4 wheels were under the panels, and the axles of the wheels were attached to the stand. The diameter of each wheel was 1.5 cubits. The wheels were made like chariot wheels. The axles, rims, and spokes and hubs were all cast of metal. Now, I'm sure if you were like an archaeologist or something, that would be interesting to read because you'd know about the technology they had then. Mm-hmm. But I got nothing.
I mean, that's not really technology. That's just design.
Well,
it's barely even architecture.
Well, the Bible goes from the Iron Age to the Bronze Age, or the Bronze Age to the Iron Age.
There's some lions, and then we put wheels on there too. And by the way, not wheels you're thinking of, the wheels of a chariot.
Yeah.
Great.
Great. Kyle's visibly frustrated.
It's like someone that just decorated their house at the fucking like thrift store, and you're like, "This is where I got this. I don't give a fuck." That does nothing for anybody. It shows no accomplishment that you've done.
You don't like to hear like 3,000-year-old building list,
And
Kyle?
it probably looks like shit. That sounds like shit, by the way.
Well,
they just ran out of things and started putting like the only stuff they had on the walls. There's just wheels there.
Well, this is
that like a show of wealth?
This
that
is
you don't need to use
I think
them?
it's because it's movable. He made 10
Why are
movable
they on the walls.
It's because the Israelites were nomadic up until about this
So they're
point.
gonna put the wheels on the pillars after?
But yeah, but why would you build a temple and then have everything on? It's as if you're making it to get carried off to Babylon. They're like, hey, come take this shit. We put wheels on it because that's what's going to happen to them, right? They're going to get destroyed, carried off to Babylon.
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
What you just said.
They're going to get destroyed? They're going to.
Jews?
Yeah. Well,
what's Babylon?
You've not heard of Babylon? The ancient civilization of Babylon? They haven't.
No, that's real?
They haven't come. Oh my God!
I thought that was like Atlantis, dude.
Are you fucking serious?
I thought it was made up. I thought it was like where Zeus lived or something.
Okay, I'm like at a loss. Like that is like incredibly.
Is there mermaids there?
Okay, so yeah, that's what happens.
Are they hot? Can I fuck their mouth?
They are hot. They're actually very handsome. This guy Cyrus coming up.
Oh, that's with all the gold.
He's the only guy. Not even close. The only guy.
Persia had all the gold.
Not
I've
Jesus Christ.
Seen 300
to be called the Messiah. Yeah, this is right before then.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up.
Well, those,
so
they're wearing gold everywhere.
In the movie 300, he had just finished carrying all that shit off of Israel. Like, so they conquered all the way down to Israel. And now they're going over to Greece to fuck up the Lacedaemonians.
So the Jews get fucked up here?
In a couple hundred years.
And then they get their shit stolen.
In a couple hundred years, yeah.
And they already had wheels waiting for them.
This is peak Israeli wealth. Actually, not really.
By the way, does everyone know what Babylon is?
Yes, everybody in the world that's read a book before knows what Babylon is.
I don't read. Also, I've never seen that YouTube video.
There's more than a YouTube video. It's actually like a whole. It's like a whole thing, Kyle. It's actually like where most of civilization
Babylon's
started.
The Persians?
Yeah, they figured out calendars there. The beginning of astronomy started there.
Dude, those tiny
math started there.
I don't believe any of that.
White people invented math up in the North Pole in Scandinavia.
That's not what I meant. I don't even think, in my mind, white people don't even exist back then. Like, I don't even know where they came from, really.
They came from the North.
Like I'm assuming
the Norsemen. Save us, O Lord, from the wrath of the Norsemen. Just 7 foot tall, white-haired, gray-eyed, fucking ghost White Walker motherfuckers came down and fucked up all Europe for like 300 years. And then they said, "Can we pay you to live here and just like fuck our women on the coastline, and you can fight your friends from back home?" And that's what happened.
Really?
That's the quick and dirty version of like 400 years.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah. What just happened? Did you see that?
I did. That's the second time that's happened, but that shouldn't affect anything.
Okay. If anybody's listening still, back to the Bible here, verse 34. Each stand had 4 handles. I'm just going to power through this. Each stand had 4 handles and one on each corner, projected from the stand.
It's like listening to someone design their kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, how could you give a shit about that? This is like every other building I've ever heard in my life. Oh, it has walls, and then you decorated them? End of story.
I mean, it's kind of interesting from a historical standpoint if you're some sort of a scholar to like recreate this and like
not
picture
really.
what it would have been.
There's nothing new. If they're like, this one had this new element that we just discovered, that would be dope. They're all made of the same thing.
You mean all the buildings are used the same materials?
Yeah, they all have metal poles with fucking cloth on them, and then they decorate it with the only thing they've ever seen, which is animals and wheels.
I mean, that's the whole world, though.
Yeah, it just fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks. He made, at the top of each stand, there was a circular band, half a cubit deep. The supports and the panels were attached to the top of the stand. He engraved cherubim, lions, and palm trees. There you go.
Yeah, what a fucking shock.
On the surfaces and supports of the panels in every available space with wreaths all around. In this way, he made the 10 stands. They were all cast in the same molds and were identical in size and shape. He then made 10 bronze basins, each holding 40 baths.
So to make their tent not lean in weird directions, they made all the poles the same size? That's kind of what it just said.
I'm gonna just say yeah, because I don't understand. Like I've explained,
They were cast in the same molds and identical size and shape. The 10 stands.
Yeah,
I'm assuming the stands, based on their name, hold up shit.
yeah. They then on top of the stands.
That's
go
like
bowls.
building. That's like going. By the way, I'm building a house. I'm building all the walls the same height.
It's like if you so yeah, imagine a bunch of pillars with bowls on top. That's the decoration.
Oh, these are decoration?
So those are pillars, and then on top goes a bowl, a basin, if you will. He then made 10 bronze basins, each holding 40 baths.
I wonder if I just have no imagination and this is like profound to like half the people listening.
I don't think it is, because it's just fucking boring. But after this, Samuel makes some outrageous claims in his prayers. Or not Samuel, Solomon. He placed 5 of the stands on the south side of the temple and 5 on the north. He placed the sea, or above ground pool, on the south side.
Dude, it's a hot tub. We've already decided. It's a pretty good hot tub.
It's pretty good.
It's not even the biggest hot tub. In his store.
Yeah. The sea. So Hiram finished all the work he'd undertaken for King Solomon in the temple of the Lord. The 2 pillars, the 2 bowl-shaped capitals.
Like as shitty as things have gotten relative to our life,
Yeah.
it's just funny to imagine this is what a king had that I can go and buy for $10,000.
Yeah, cheaper than that even, yeah.
Or cheaper
Yeah.
than that. But like a king had it, there was one of them, and he had to conquer a whole people.
I mean, the same point, but in different terms. Like, we eat spice. Nobody in the world had flavor on their food before like 200 years ago.
Salt,
I know,
really.
right? Exactly. Yeah. Like the food we eat, like the Spice Islands.
You're taking full advantage of that, dude.
Yeah, they had to go all the way to the fucking New Guinea to get spice, to go all the way back to like Britain.
That's a place where Italians just started, right?
What do you mean?
New Guinea?
Oh, of the world's thousands of languages, something like 80% of them come from there.
Really?
Yeah, interesting, hey?
That is interesting.
Like a one tribe.
God scattered them all to make them not communicate with each other.
That would seem like the case. Like a tribe, right around the corner, 10 kilometers away, would have a completely different language, no shared alphabet, nothing. Well, most of them aren't written down anyways, but like done the same, whatever. Anyways, I'm gonna say something I hate.
I find that way more interesting, and you felt like you had to speed through it than what we're reading right now.
Because I find this I have this duty of, I don't know, staying on topic. I feel like we should at least try to humor the name of the podcast.
Yeah, well, we'll get it. We'll get it done. We'll speed read this horse shit.
Okay. The 2 sets of the networks decorating the tops of the pillars. 2 sets of I
couldn't imagine sitting alone in your bed reading this crap.
Yeah, like trying to feel closer to God.
There's no way you could get through that.
See, that's a really good point, because when you're reading it alone and you're trying to feel like connected to God,
I would fall asleep every half a page.
And you're like, read your Bible. That's why people skip all this shit.
That's my point.
Yeah, and then in this shit sometimes, like, remember back in Numbers, they're like describing the temple, and it's like, kill all gay people. Back to the basins. The basins should be made of, like, it's just like in the middle they have shit like, anybody who talks back to their mother or father should be put to death, and then back to the fucking pillars, and you're like, hang on, why'd you put that in there?
Like, that was just as important as a decoration.
Right.
Kill all the gays, and by the way, I think who's there to decorate now?
Oh, that's funny. The 2 pillars. 2 bowl-shaped capitals on the top of the pillars. The 2 sets of network decorating. That doesn't make sense. The 2 sets of network decorating the 2 bowl-shaped capitals on the top of the pillars. I'm going to leave it at that.
It can be like everyone else in the Bible. We don't have to understand what we're reading. We just have to read it.
The 400 pomegranates. As if
they love that shit now.
Yeah, the 400 pomegranates for 2 sets of network, 2 rows of pomegranates for each network, decorating the bowl-shaped capitals on the top of the pillars. The 10 stands with their 10 basins, the sea and the 12 bowls under it, the pots, shovels, and sprinkling bowls.
Did you have to read this as a kid?
Yeah, I mean, I was forced to read the whole Bible, and then so I read the whole
Bible.
Bible.
Big mistake, eh?
Yeah,
They should have just picked and choose.
So my first read through the whole Bible, I would say I did when I was like 15 or 16, and like you said, like you just zone out. Like I straight up lied. I just said I was reading when I wasn't reading, and I would skim over stuff. But I kind of read it, and I would have to like know what it said. Like I had to do like book reports.
But they're not going to quiz you based on how many pillars.
Not
are
really.
in there, right?
No.
Yeah.
And
so you're like, yeah, it's built with.
Yeah. And then I read it
pillars
again when I was like 21, 20, let's say 23, when I was like working up north in the oil patch. And I was like, this shit is fucking bananas. Yeah, I had nothing else to read.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, I already knew the Bible was dumb, but I was like just reading it for something to read. And I was reading like that shit about Lot's daughters in the cave. And I was like, that's
my favorite outrageous part.
Well, that's
it is so insane.
That's the kind of shit that, like, I was like, I got to read this out loud. Like, people don't know.
When I first heard that part, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a generation of people coming out of this that are fucked up. Or this is going to instigate some event. Nothing happens.
No, it's just a story.
It's like, by the way, this happened.
It's not really. It's kind of
really
linear.
relevant.
It's kind of linear, but it's kind of not.
It's kind of not. It's not significant. It never gets called back on. You could have just never said it.
There's a literary.
You could have said they were in a cave for this amount of time, would accomplish the exact same thing. By the way, his daughters got him so drunk, he didn't know what was going on, and then they fucked him.
Well, that was the point. Yeah, that was the point.
That his daughters were immoral?
No, the point was they had to get him drunk so that he would fuck them, so that their seed wouldn't die out, right? So that they would continue on their family line.
Mm-hmm.
What I was going to say, though, there's a literary principle called Chekhov's gun. Anton Chekhov, the Russian writer, and he said that if you are describing a room and you say there's a pistol on the wall, that pistol better come up in the story later. There should be a reason you put that pistol on the wall, right?
I agree.
So you're saying but the God of the whole universe doesn't understand that principle. He just kind of like, there's a tree in the realm of the Huron Basin. And you're like, okay.
And by the way, the tree had 5 shekels on it, and it was
3 chapters about it, never brought up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of these we're done now. This is just the wrapping up. I'm kind of lying to you. There's half a page. All of these objects that Huram made for King Solomon.
Everyone watching can literally see that you just lied.
Well, I thought we were done at the end of this fucking case. Here,
and
then we got this whole other half a page. You guys don't get to see that the Bible's written in columns, which is a real treat to read.
We have it kind of column-like. It's close enough.
All these objects that Huram made for King Solomon for the temple of the Lord were furnished bronze. The king had cast them in clay molds between the plain of Jordan, between Succoth and Zarethan. Solomon left all these things unweighed because they were so many. The weight of the bronze was not determined. So I guess they told us the dimensions. They didn't weigh them all. Solomon also made all the furnishings that were in the Lord's temple, the golden altar, the golden table on which the bread of the presence.
Yeah, I see that too. I don't know what the hell that means.
I think that's just like the standing. So remember when they had to give grain offerings? That's like fucking bread. So basically they had this holy bread that was God's bread that just sat there on a gold table all the time going stale. I'm sure they changed it every day.
What's do you think the Jews' favorite cheese is Swiss?
I don't get it.
It's the most holy, dude.
Oh, that's so dumb. Okay. The lampstands of pure gold, 5 on the right and 5 on the left in the front of the inner sanctuary. I think that's a menorah, everybody. The gold floral work.
Wait, what?
The lampstand of pure gold, 5 on the right and 5 on the left.
Oh, yeah, that is a menorah.
The pure gold basins.
What does that signify? What are the
12
events,
tribes.
The 12 tribes. You said 5 on the left and 5 on the right, though, just now.
I did say that. Those are lampstands. So I'm pretty sure the menorah's 12, isn't it?
Maybe they didn't have all 12 yet. I actually don't know.
I know
there's a bunch on one side and
they
a
did
bunch
have
on
all
the
12
other
by
side,
now.
and I'm pretty sure they're even.
They do have all 12 for sure by now.
Ooh, well, they wrote 5.
Well, then that's not a menorah. I just made a mistake.
No, I think they're just talking singular lampstands.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Thank you. The pure gold basins, wick trimmers, sprinkling bowls, and dishes. and censers, and the gold sockets for the doors of the innermost rooms, the most holy
Angus
place.
speaks so slow, he kind of sounds like God in my head whenever he talks.
The voice of God, and also for the doors of the main temple hall. When all the work King Solomon had done for the temple of the Lord was finished, it bugs the shit out of me how King Solomon gets the credit for all this. And I guess that goes for any great person ever.
I listened to Hallelujah again today.
The song?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it references a lot of shit I finally understand.
Oh, like they cut your throne, they cut your hair, and
Yeah.
David's throne and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, huh.
Now you get...
But also, like, even that song made David seem awesome. And I was like, oh, you son of...
At least now you know.
I love that song. And I'm like, oh, you
Oh,
fucking assholes.
I mean, you got my version, right? Any
Wrote a song
Christian
about
you talk to,
David's a cunt.
any
Is there any
Christian...
song about David being a cunt?
No, they all think David's the man.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what there's no punk Christian bands, obviously.
That's actually awesome. There's metal Christian band, but
Yeah.
there's you can't be a punk Christian
You
band.
can't really. Unless you don't believe like
I
us.
dropped out of Sunday school. Told my teacher she's a cunt.
David sucks.
Sister Mary, you're a whore. Fuck yourself with the crucifix. I don't know.
Punk doesn't need to rhyme, dude.
Doesn't.
Yeah.
But the whole punk is an attitude, right?
Yeah.
So you,
yeah,
I don't know
literally.
if you could have
It's
Christian
a way
punk.
of life. You can. It's kind of an oxymoron.
I guess the angle
You
you'd
could
have
have
to,
Christian punk if it was negative, like us. If we like shit on Dave, be like, David actually sucks.
you'd have to be like, we are not of the world. We're not of the world.
I don't like how the punk you're impersonating is pop punk, by the way.
That's what you
It's
like.
bothering me.
That's your jam.
No,
Yeah, that's
Not
all
it.
that's all you play when we're not around.
just because I like a little blink. 182 degrees.
We're not going to outer space with that guy. Tom DeLonge. He's fucking out of his mind. Right?
Oh yeah, he's nuts.
Okay.
I like how he thinks like there's people that want to be around a famous person, so they lie to him, and he thinks he's getting secret information.
That's more sad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though. No,
It's kind of funny.
tricking an idiot.
Did you?
That used to be like the only pastime we had is laughing at idiots.
I know.
And now we're not allowed to do it anymore.
The problem is there's more. There's a critical mass of idiots that is more than half the population, and so when you make jokes,
well, isn't an idiot based on the percentage of the population?
I guess you would, by definition, are correct.
If everyone's an idiot, no one's an idiot.
Everyone's an idiot except for me. I feel like we have run out of time to read about the ark getting brought to the temple. 42. We'll read a little bit of it.
Yeah, let's read it.
Okay.
I need to wash my mouth out with some.
So we're at 1
Whatever.
Kings chapter 8. The ark brought to the temple.
God, if God didn't write something valuable in this part, I'm gonna lose it.
This is the ark. This is the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So King Solomon summoned into his presence at Jerusalem.
So far about the Ark, we know that it's like radioactive and poisonous and kills people effectively.
Effectively, yes.
Effectively, like
But it's the power of God that kills people.
yes, but it like radiated them. They were getting boils and shit.
Okay, so what Kyle's talking about, just to get everyone up to speed here. So the Ark of the Covenant is where the 10 Commandments are located. Also, they keep it in the tabernacle, which is the tent in the inner room. It's called the Holy of Holies. And there's a cloud of light that sits over top of it, or fire, or whatever you want. And that's God, the Holy Spirit. He lives there. And then throughout their history, the ark was captured by the Philistines, and they brought it to a town, and then everyone got boils, and they brought it to another town, and then a bunch of people got sick and died. And then they were basically said, we don't want this thing, get it out of here. So the Israelites brought it back to Israel, but on the trip back, it fell off the cart, and someone tried to grab it so it wouldn't fall. God struck them dead. And so,
ironically, if that guy didn't save it, everyone would have died.
Exactly.
But he did. He sacrificed his own life.
The greater good.
I hope that guy goes
The
to heaven.
greater good.
Or wherever he wants, you know?
Yeah. I don't think Jews go to heaven. That's the sad part.
What are you talking about, dude? All Jews go to heaven.
No, they
I
just
saw the movie.
they get the new earth.
You ever seen that movie, All Jews Go to Heaven?
No.
Oh, wait, that's dogs.
Yeah.
Shit.
All dogs go to heaven. That was a dumb
what
movie.
do you mean, though?
What do you
I
mean?
loved that movie as a kid.
I hated it. I mean,
Is it because it wasn't religiously sound?
yes, that's why.
Well, I don't give a fuck.
I mean, it's been too long. I barely remember
Wait,
it.
the Jews don't go to heaven?
No, okay, so
Dude, heaven's gonna be poor.
I think, because I don't know. We're now deviating from what I like the Christianity in the Bible.
Mhm.
I think that God just comes back and remakes Earth for them. That's what I think.
But
I don't think they get heaven.
You know where the Old Testament ends.
Yeah, the Old Testament
There's
ends.
promises of heaven in there, isn't there?
No, we haven't had any yet.
I just assumed.
No, there's none yet.
The Old Testament does not mention heaven. It mentions hell.
It mentions
effectively or purgatory or something.
It mentions heaven as a place where God lives, but it doesn't say that you're going there.
You can go there. Oh.
I mean, I'm a bit over my head. I've not studied this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jews get the earth remade and Christians invented heaven, or like Christians as in Jesus.
Jews get the earth remade.
Yeah, like God comes back and fixes the earth,
and they.
So there's no heaven. They just get earth for forever.
But they still die.
He comes back and brings everybody to life.
It sounds like he just comes back and kills everyone that's not a Jew.
Well, kind of that. He's the conquering warlord, so he revives all the dead Jews and then kills everybody else, and then the Jews get the world.
Do they re-die?
I don't think so. I think they live forever.
Mm.
I mean, this is probably super wrong, and anybody who actually knows is probably laughing their dicks off right now. But
I wonder.
I wonder.
These like after you die fantasies that all the religions had that are slightly different are hilarious.
They're so funny.
They get so niche sometimes because they're like, in my mind, the person that's doing the spin-off is like, well, we can't copy that. So how about instead of a heaven, there's an island and only like 10,000 people can go on it.
As far as I understand,
that's JW's, dude.
I'm going to speculate wildly some more. As far as I understand, Muslims, they get their own world. So when you die,
it's full of virgins, dude.
Well, that's your temporary holding place until your world's made. While God's making your world, like basically you go to the waiting room for your new world and you fuck girls until
that's a sweet waiting room, dude.
Until your room is made.
Dude, if my doctor had that, I'd be sick every day. What does the waiting room have? No, does they have Time Magazine? No, he has 70 whores.
72.
72.
Okay, 1 Kings chapter 8.
That's such a weird number. They've rounded off a lot in like the Bible so far. They've picked their favorite numbers. 72 seems like an odd number.
It's a denomination of 12, right? Isn't it? Is it not?
72?
No. 6 times 12? No. 6 times 12.
Mm-hmm. I'm
imagining it has something to do with the 12 tribes. Islam has their own version of like the 12 tribes. They have their own like 12-step program over there.
Okay, so it is one of those numbers things.
I think so.
12's a big one too.
I think you get like
how many Jesus disciples was it?
12 disciples,
Gotcha.
12 tribes.
Mm-hmm.
7, 12, 3 are like the big ones.
And you know what? Isn't roulette when you first bet the pass line? If you roll a 7 or a 12,
you would know. No.
You win. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's spooky, dude.
Spooky numbers. How do they work? Okay. 1 Kings chapter 8. Then King Solomon summoned into his presence at Jerusalem.
Dude, if you bet against the pass line, it's slightly better odds. That's like betting with the devil, dude.
Yeah, I would gamble. If I've thought about this intensely. If the devil showed up, poof, right now, and said, your soul to be the greatest comedian of all time. But if he showed up, that means he's real. That means your soul is real. That means you're actually going to hell.
That means that you just made the worst deal ever.
Yeah.
He'll make you the greatest comedian of all time, but then
Gus
put you in a
there,
mental institution.
Gus is sitting there in the corner like, yeah, I would do it in a second. But yes.
You ever tried working hard writing jokes?
No. That's not a deal I would make. Are you fucked?
What
if the devil said, yeah, all you got to do is work hard, I'd be like, get fucked, devil.
What if he makes you the greatest comic of all time, but all comedy is canceled? Because it's cancel
That's one of those monkey paw deals.
That's what I mean. Or you're the best comic of all time,
if you're the best comedian of all time,
institution.
You could still write or make movies. You could choose a different medium than stand-up.
What I said, you're locked in a mental institution because they think you're crazy because of how funny you are.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why not?
Because you can't convince someone to be funny and them think you're crazy. They're either laughing at you or you're...
Dude, some of the funniest comics of all time are crazy.
Sure. But I mean, how many of them got locked up in mental institutions?
I know Norm Macdonald probably should.
You think he's that crazy?
No.
No, I don't think so
but
either.
He's not the funniest comic of all time. You are.
Yeah, I'm not that crazy either.
Could be.
you think I should act crazier?
To be fair, you're not the funniest comic of all time right now, correct?
Of course.
How many times have you pulled your dick out, do you think?
Like, what is? I mean, define
See,
pull your dick out.
You don't need to tell me the exact number. I'm just proving my point.
Hundreds?
You're gonna be 100 times crazier than that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the pulling.
What if it's a linear scale of crazy to hilariousness, and you're at where you are right now,
Okay.
and you've been as crazy as you have in your life, which is fairly crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not like certifiably or criminally yet, but 100 times that.
I mean, I could.
Like you've streaked 3 times at least, right?
Yeah,
4?
professional events. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm not talking about every other time.
Well,
you've done it.
people be like, I streaked, my friend's
And
wedding.
like I professionally streaked. Did you have TV cameras?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you streak your neighborhood? That's cute.
Yeah.
I ran through thousands of people.
I feel like that matters.
It does matter.
When
for
people
sure.
are like, I streaked to the McDonald's, you're like, you didn't streak, okay?
My point is the fact that that's a
Did
point.
Jason Momoa give it a standing ovation? Yes or no?
Like that's
Yes
a
or yes?
That's a point of pride with you, and that's base level right now. If you get as crazy as you do funny,
I so badly want to meet him one day and be like, remember me? And he'd be like, no.
No.
And then just pull down my pants and start dancing. And he's like, oh my God, the guy from the rugby game. Yeah, I remember.
oh man, that would be funny.
Fuck, I don't
Where
want
are
to
we
start
at
this
now?
big section. We're at like an hour. This is a huge big section of
where
King
are we
Solomon.
in the... We can call it, dude.
Let's call it. Okay. Next week on the podcast, the Ark brought to the temple, and then Solomon's dedication
So
prayer.
you do it if you just sped through your riffs a little more if you didn't speed through your riffs in the middle there, would have had a perfect hour.
If you guys thought David was hyperbolic about his sucking God's little doink, Solomon takes it to the next level of like
Of filleting the Lord and Savior.
filleting the Lord. Yeah, like of all the brown nosers of all time, Solomon might be the biggest. He got his nose the furthest up there.
Where did the expression brown nose come from?
Because for your kiss ass, your nose is brown because you're kissing ass.
Because you're just your nose deep in there.
You got your nose way up at their bub hole.
Sounds like you're eating ass.
I mean, Conrad could be a
Sounds like you're eating ass.
could be a
dude.
fucking brown noser. So, I'm at a loss for words.
No, we're good, dude.
I was gonna ask you if we had any emails, like I always do, but we don't.
We do not know.
Did
We
you
do have like a new COVID scam that's very similar to the old Nigerian prince scam.
Did I tell you? No, never mind. It's not a podcast worthy story. It's a really boring personal story. Did I tell you I went to the post office and I ran into like, fucking call it, man. Play the song. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to end podcasts without the emails. Like I have my fucking segments, and now I'm just floundering. Have you bombed ever like so hard that you try to save your bomb and you just keep talking? That's what's happening to me.
I
now.
mean, everyone's done that.
Yeah, I know.
Of course. Yeah, that's
So
what happens.
save me instead of like recoiling. Jump in, say something relevant,
fair,
play the song.
I'm the
and
guy
fuck
that
us
laughs
off.
the hardest when the comic's doing that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is kind of my favorite part. All right, you guys can check us out at CanadaComedy.ca. By the way, we got some cool upcoming shit involved with that, a.k.a. I've been working on the website for a while, and it's almost done. We're going to have some new merch / new merch, old merch.
Last year's merch. We got the great fucking. The toques are cool.
They're dope, dude.
I mean, if I want to.
It's been pretty hard to buy them. You'd have to message us.
That's all you. That's the only
right
way.
now. It's kind of what's happening is email or message if you want. People are doing it, but it's going to be set up on the website where you can buy it like a normal fucking product.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Man, we talk about it.
I hate the way the website looks right now. It's looking way better.
You have
already.
no one to blame but yourself, Kyle.
You know what? Here's the thing. At the beginning, when I decided to be a comedian, I didn't want to be a graphic designer, website designer, fucking producer.
Look at you now.
And you just have to.
Yeah.
There's like no way around it. To pay someone else. The funny thing is I just showed you a new version of our logo today. Look out for that. It'll be on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
The new logo. It's a tweak. It's not a brand new logo.
Looks better though.
It does look better. I learn new things and then I look at the old shit. I'm like, you should see the first logo. It is dog shit.
Oh yeah, it was like made on paint.
It wasn't. It was made
It
in
looked like it, though.
Photoshop. It looked like it was made in paint, and it took me so long.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that you do it, because if you didn't do it, no one would do it.
It just gets exciting to look back and see,
We're
I've
improving.
actually gotten better. Not the podcast, my art.
The podcast has improved.
No, podcast is dope.
I mean, I think we peaked around episode 2 or 3, but it's been
Dude,
a
I get
slow decline.
when people ask me like what episode should I listen to, they go, I'm gonna start at the beginning. I go, no.
The first episode is good.
At least do. I think they should listen and go back. I think it's wildly different. I went back and listened again, and I like it, but it's wildly different.
I think it's a good intro to the podcast.
Dude, I
though.
cackle like a hyena. I can't take it. I'm a fucking cackler, dude.
Well, because I had to come up with that on my way up to your house. Like, how am I going to introduce this concept to people who don't?
No,
know
the
what we're
intro's
talking-
dope. The first episode's great.
I mean, it sets it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say our first episodes reading are hard to get through.
43 or 23 is pretty good too.
43 or 23,
I think it's 23.
big different numbers.
23.
If-
Caleb kills a puppy.
Oh,
Pretty
that's
sure.
just not, that's not funny, by the way. Only Kyle thinks that's funny. Fucking play the song and get us out of here.
I'll be a savior in the streets.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Sheets kneel down and witness this immaculate erection, baby.
New videos up every
Don't
Wednesday.
be ashamed to scream out.